Hare Krishna. I would like to warmly welcome all the folks today, wishing each one of your fathers a very happy Father's Day. International Day of Yoga is celebrated to encourage people embrace, practice and enjoy yoga every day. Today, we are going to do Kirtan Yoga. Kirtan is a Sanskrit term for chanting, one of the traditional Indian yoga practices. In Kirtan Yoga, chanting is accompanied by classical Indian instruments such as harmonium, mridanga, and kartal, while Sanskrit mantras like the Hare Krishna Mahamantra are repeated using call and response, stilling the mind and opening the heart. Yoginam api sarvesham mad bhaterantaratmanaha shraddhavan bhajate yomam sameyuktatama mataha. Lord Krishna says, the one who worships me is the highest yogi. So let us open your mind. Let us open our mind and open our hearts to the soulful sounds of the Perfect Harmony Musical Club for all of you to love and relish. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, I welcome all of you. Let us all fill our heart with sweet name of Lord Krishna. Please join me. Let us all sing, clap and dance by singing His holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
That was such an amazing and scintillating Kirtan Yoga. Thank you, Perfect Harmony Musical Club, for helping us perform one of the highest forms of yoga and transporting us to a different realm altogether. If you look around, you'd notice that there are brittle substances and malleable substances. Drop a piece of glass and it breaks, unlike a piece of gold. Likewise, human minds can either be inclined to the brittle nature or the malleable one. You can get easily provoked or stay unaffected and happy even when there are disturbances and difficulties. And yoga is like a process that helps in transforming our brittle body and mind to that of malleable ones. So, to hear more on what is special about yoga and how yoga can really help us in our day to day activities, we have with us His Grace Sampati Prabhu, Divisional Head, Folk Youth Empowerment Club, ISKCON Bangalore. Prabhu is the member of the Executive Council, ISKCON Bangalore. He also heads the online communication department of ISKCON Bangalore. Prabhu has pursued his BE in Electrical and Electronics in one of the prestigious institutions of Bangalore, BMS College of Engineering. Prabhu worked as a design engineer in Tata Group of Companies, Mumbai. Being inspired by the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, he dedicated as a full-time missionary and has been serving at ISKCON Bangalore for more than a decade. Prabhu holds an immense experience in designing and conducting personality enrichment seminars and workshops based on the principles of Bhagavad-Gita, and his talks and sessions are highly inspirational and motivates the listeners to follow spiritual life with great vigor. Today, we are very blessed to have you, Prabhu, amongst us to enlighten us on the topic Yoga KSHEMAM Maham. So we would be starting the session start shortly. I would like all of you to watch this short video on folk rewind.
Suryathon was a combined package of meditation and Surya Namaskar.
Today we had yoga session which was quite peaceful and serene.
It was an awesome experience to know what it means to love Krishna.
Today's program was really insightful and amazing.
I've never read the Bhagavad-Gita before. This was the first time, and I must say, it has been magical.
Today, I fell in love with Bhagavad Gita.
Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for today's special talk on International Yoga Day. So let's start today's topic first by offering our prayers to Srila Prabhupada and to their lordships. I request all of you to please join me to offer prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, I welcome all of you once again for this evening session. I remember my journey in yoga started long ago when I was in my school. I came across an article that spoke about yoga, the yogis in Himalayas. When I read that article, I was actually fascinated, especially different types of yogis that live in Himalayas and their special powers. I read yogi was able to fly in the sky. One yogi was able to disappear and he'll appear in some other place. Some other yogi was able to stretch his hand and take the mangoes that was there hundreds of kilometers far away. He was able to stretch his hands far, far away. So when I read these fascinating stories of yogis, and one more yogi that I read about was a yogi called Trilinga Swami in Benares, who would actually disappear from one place to another place. So, sometimes the police would arrest him and put him into the jail. That was during the British era. It's being recorded. And he would just disappear from the jail. And when I read these type of incidents, the details of yoga and yogis, I think I developed a certain type of attraction, inquisitiveness, and kind of a interest in yoga. Then I started to figure out, what is this yoga? Who are these yogis? And what are the special powers? And can I develop these powers like this? And being born in India and growing up in a very religious family background, naturally, my first interest to know more about yoga was from Bhagavad-Gita. Because I had heard so much about Bhagavad-Gita throughout my life. Of course, I had never read that book. I had heard enough of Bhagavad-Gita when I was in my school, even before that. But unfortunately, I didn't have a copy of that. But I somehow thought in my mind that all these details of yogas are there in Bhagavad Gita. So I must get this Bhagavad Gita and read that. So that is how I started exploring yoga, and it took a lot of time. I read many books and came across many type of information of yoga, and finally, very happy to say that I ended up in such a topmost yoga system delineated by Supreme Lord Krishna himself, that is Bhakti Yoga. So I'm very happy to share some of the lessons and some of the experience about yoga on this International Yoga Day. Tomorrow, that is June 21st, is celebrated as International Yoga Day. And the whole world celebrates. We'll hear more about it. And so that's what we are going to hear more. I request all of you to participate in discussion in case if any questions I ask in between. By the way, you can all tell me in your live chat, what was your first encounter with yoga? I mean, first time in your life, what did you do? Did you read about yoga? Did you do yoga yourself? Did somebody teach you yoga? Can you please write in your comments or live chat so that I'm very interested to know how did you all get to know about yoga in your life? Yes. So now I'm going to dedicate today's topic to my dear spiritual master who gave me this best of the best yogas, because of which I'm here and I'm speaking to all of you about yoga, to Srila Prabhupada. So today's topic is dedicated to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. And so, as I already said, here is my PPT. I hope you're all able to see the PPT on the screen. Yeah. As I said, June 21st is celebrated as International Yoga Day. This International Yoga Day started in the year 2015. Our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, he, with his great connections in the international level, he was successful to establish an international platform for Indian yoga system. And about 192 countries celebrated in 2015. And after 2015, more and more people, more and more countries embraced. You can see some of the images on your screen, how people from New York and people from Saudi Arabia and some of our army people from the mountains peak and all those places, practically every part of the world, people participated, they performed yogasanas, and they actually accepted the scientific and the health benefits and many other benefits of Indian yoga system. That's how it became an International Day of Yoga. Now, I have a small question to ask all of you. You see, when we say something is International Day, what becomes an International Day? Can any ordinary event, an ordinary activity, can it become an International Day? Like something happens in our life, right? Let's say I purchase a mobile, I purchase a laptop, or some event that normally happens in our life. That won't become an international celebration. That means when we hear International Day, it means it must be universally, globally important. It may not be a small thing. Then nobody, 192 countries, people would have not accepted it. The very reason it is today celebrated as International Day means all over the world, globally, universally, people are appreciating, people are able to see the scientific benefits of yoga in their day-to-day life. But in today's topic, Yoga-kshemam, this word Yoga-kshemam that we have taken for today's topic is actually from Bhagavad-Gita. Lord Krishna is using this word Yoga-kshemam. And in the Yoga-kshemam, there are basically two words, yoga and kshema. Kshema means well-being. Yoga So what are these two words? How they are interconnected? What does Krishna mean when he uses this word? All that we'll discover in today's topic. So moving on to the next. Okay, so when we talk about International Yoga Day, we all call ourselves a yogi, then we must know what is yoga, right? So when someone asks this question, especially, we come from India and yoga is from India. So when you meet people from outside India, they expect that we know something about yoga. Like you go to France and you meet somebody from France, a Frenchman, then you expect that they know something about Eiffel Tower because Eiffel Tower is in Paris. And you go to London and you expect somebody who is born there to know something about the Thames River, right? Because Thames River is there in the London. So when we say we are Indians, people expect us to know something about yoga because it is now international. 192 country people are participating, practicing, following in their day-to-day life. So what is yoga? Actually, yoga, according to Sanskrit explanation, Sanskrit dictionary, Srila Prabhupada explains this in Bhagavad-Gita. Yoga comes from the root word called yuj. From the root word yuj comes the word yoga. And what is the meaning of this word yuj or yoga? It means to connect, to join, or to establish. These are some of the meanings of the word yoga. I repeat, yoga means to connect, to link, to establish. This is the meaning of yoga. So next time when anybody asks you what is yoga, we should know what is the meaning of yoga, right? So that is the meaning. And then what is the purpose of the yoga? Okay, I understand. Like I look at my mobile, I know what is the purpose of my mobile. The purpose of my mobile is communication. I use the device, the mobile device, for communication. So, like that, you see anything around you, you see laptop, it is meant for something. You see a watch, it is meant for seeing the time. So we see so many things and we know what is the purpose of that. So what is the purpose of the yoga? That we will discover in detail in today's session, right? That is very important. We should know what is the purpose of the yoga. And moving on, there are different types of yogas. Of course, today it has become a fad to have all kinds of yogas. Like people have beer yoga. Somebody says beer yoga. That means you do yoga and you drink beer. And they call it as beer yoga. And there is something called doga. Doga, it's not yoga, but they call it as doga, D-O-G-A. They mean they and their dog together practice yoga, and that is called doga. So like this, there are so many newly concocted, speculated types of yogas. But traditionally, what are the yogas that scripture tell us? So here on your screen, you can see Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. These are some of the prominent yogas that are described in our Vedic text. Now, let us see one by one in more details. So when I talk about this yoga, Karma Yoga, so here in the Bhagavad-Gita, we can see some of the interesting explanation of that. Here Krishna says in the 3rd chapter, Yastu indriyani manasa niyamyarabhate arjuna karmendriyai karma yogam asakta savishishyate. The word karmendriyai karma yogam. See, one thing we need to keep in our mind. Yoga means to connect, to re-establish, to have a link, right? So I have not yet clarified when I say connect. Connect with what? Connect with whom? Why we should connect? All that we have not yet clarified. So, but I'm just giving you a simple definition from Bhagavad-Gita, different types of yogas, because now that it has become international yoga, we must know at least this much. Karmendriyai karma yogam, the third line. Karma indriya. We have two types of indriyas. Jnanendriya, karmendriya. Jnanendriya, like my eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, this is called Jnanendriya. The senses through which I get knowledge, that is called Jnanendriya. Karmendriya means the senses I use for doing some work, like my hands, like my leg, right? So there are 5 karmendriyas. And so Krishna says, when you use your karmendriyas and perform certain activities, and those activities help you to link, those activities help you to connect, right? With what? That we'll discuss later. But these activities help you to link, these activities help you to connect, and then it is called Karma Yoga. If there is any activity that disconnects, if there is any activity that delinks, then it is not called yoga. Then it is just called karma. There is karma and there is karma yoga. Karma means the work. Now, some of the work connects, some of the work disconnects. So the work that helps you to connect, then it is called Karma Yoga, according to 3rd chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. And then we have the next one, Jnana Yoga. And in Bhagavad-Gita, you can see this. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram miha vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddha kalenatmani vindati. Krishna says that, this knowledge, the knowledge, because one is to connect through your work. Another one is connect through the knowledge. So connection is yoga, but connecting through the work is called Karma Yoga. Connecting through knowledge, especially the spiritual knowledge, is called Jnana Yoga. And that is what Krishna speaks in Bhagavad-Gita 4th chapter. And then we come across the very popular yoga, that is Ashtanga Yoga, which many of us think yoga means this. When today the International Yoga Day is 99.99% completely focused on Ashtanga Yoga. You see, when I came across yoga, first time when I heard about yoga, I heard about Ashtanga Yoga. And I thought for many, many days, in fact, many years, yoga means only Ashtanga Yoga. Because of my own ignorance, I didn't have enough proper exposure to Vedic literature. I had my own exposure here and there a little bit. So I thought yoga means Ashtanga Yoga. What we see today, there are many yoga studios and yoga teachers, and we all do yoga asanas, those asanas and pranayamas, that all comes under Ashtanga Yoga. But in the Vedic literature, it is mentioned, what is this Ashtanga Yoga? From the Mundaka Upanishad. See, one of the Upanishad, very prominent Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, gives us a very interesting information. Here it is said, you can read on your screen, Eshanur Atma Chetasa Veditavyo Yasmin Prana Panchadha Samveshaya Pranais Chittam Sarvam Otam Prajanam Yasmin Vishuddhe Vibhavati Esha Atma. So the soul, the Atma, the soul, is actually very small in size, atomic size, and can be perceived by perfect intelligence. With intelligence, you can actually perceive the presence of the soul. This atomic soul is floating. It is actually floating in the 5 kinds of life air called prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana. There are 5 types of prana vayu. Their air, not the air that is there around us, their special air called prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. And this soul is actually floating in this 5 airs within the heart. Its heart is the place where soul is there, and spreads the influence. The soul spreads its influence all over its body. And when the soul is purified, you see, it is said that soul is purified from the contamination of the 5 kinds of the material air, this 5 airs, then the spiritual influence is exhibited. So you actually experience the spirituality when the soul becomes purified, it is actually right now floating with this 5 air, prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana. These are the 5 air covering the atma, covering the soul, and soul is floating, atma is floating, and it is there in the heart. So now why I'm saying this is because Srila Prabhupada mentions in Bhagavad-Gita purport that the Hatha Yoga system, another name of Ashtanga Yoga, is called Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga are referring to the same yoga system. Hatha Yoga system is meant for controlling these 5 kinds of air. When you do this yoga asanas today, you see everywhere, all around the world, people are practicing it. It is actually meant for controlling this 5 kinds of the air that are circling the pure soul by different kinds of sitting postures, not for any material profit. The yoga is performed not for material profit, but actually for the liberation of the soul. It is for the soul's liberation. It is actually to release the soul from the attachment of so many material things. That right now the soul, Atma, is attached to so many things in this material world, and this 5 air, prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana, these are called 5 prana vayu. They're actually influencing the soul, and because of which the soul, the Atma, is getting attached to this material world. It is developing all wrong desires, material attachment, and being in the material world. So by practicing this Ashtanga Yoga, Hatha Yoga, we are supposed to get purified from the influence of this 5 types of prana vayu. So this is what Mundaka Upanishad says. The Upanishad is telling what is this Ashtanga Yoga and why we should do Ashtanga Yoga. And there are 8 stages. There are 8 steps or 8 stages because of which it is called Ashtanga Yoga. Ashta means in Sanskrit 8. In Hindi we say art. Art comes from the word ashta in the Sanskrit. So ashta, anga. Anga means the steps or fold. 8-fold or 8 steps in this yoga. So we discussed karma yoga. That means karma means the work. By doing certain work, we connect ourselves. We link ourselves. We establish ourselves. So that is called karma yoga. Jnana Yoga means with knowledge we connect ourselves. With knowledge we link ourselves. That is Jnana Yoga. Now we are talking about Ashtanga Yoga. And in this Ashtanga Yoga or Hatha Yoga, Hatha means in Sanskrit determination. A strong determination is called Hatha Yoga. Hatha. And with strong determination, by following these 8 steps, then it is called Ashtanga Yoga. What are these 8 stages? First one is Yama. And Yama means the do's. Niyama means don'ts. You see, everywhere there is some do's and don'ts. Like when you go to doctor and say, doctor, I've got COVID. I got COVID positive. Then the doctors tell you to do something and don't do something. Like What you should do, you should quarantine yourself. What you should do, you should take steam. What you should do, you should take some fruits that increases your vitality, your immune system. And niyama means don'ts. What you're not supposed to do, you're not supposed to mix with others. You're not supposed to do XYZ. So in every yoga system, there are do's and there are don'ts. Without this do's and don'ts, if you simply take any medicine, it will not have any impact. So unfortunately, today it has become a fashion. People say, oh, I'm following some yoga. Every day I do yoga. Yes, but today we will discover what is that you're doing and what you're not doing. So yama means the do's and niyama means don'ts. In fact, you all type in the Google, what are the yama and what are the niyama in Google. You will come across very interesting things. One of the things is brahmacharya, abstaining from sex life. If you are interested in this, there are do's and don'ts. What is that you should do? You should go to a sacred place. That is do's. You should go to a sacred place. Don't means you have to abstain yourself from irreligious sex life. So like this, there are certain yamas and certain niyamas. If you do not follow that, you actually don't get the maximum benefit of what you are taking. Like sometimes doctors say, you take this after food, before food, or with milk, with honey. That is because that will enhance the experience. So that is important. And then the after do's and don'ts comes the asana. This is what all of us think yoga. We call it as yogasana. Like for example, dhanurasana, shirshasana. We know so many asanas. There are hundreds of asanas. So we think yoga is all about yogasana. Oh, I know some asana. So pavana muktasana, shirshasana, like this. So many asanas. We think that's all. Yoga means only this much. No, after yama, after niyama, then you will be able to do asana, not directly. Even if you do directly asana, you may not get the best result. So that is asana. Then comes pranayama. As I already told you, Mundaka Upanishad says there are 5 types of pranas. We are supposed to clean our soul from those 5 types of prana influence. So pranayama means, you have to learn how to control those life airs. So that is called pranayama. This is the 4th part of this Ashtanga Yoga. Then comes Pratyahara. Pratyahara means presently, you see, you close your eyes even 2 minutes, especially the students will have a very nice realization of this. When you want to study, when you want to read, you want to do something, you want to do meditation, you close your eyes and you see your mind will just run away here and there. Where it will run away? Wherever our attraction is there, it will go there. Wherever our mind already invested, where I have some desire, attachment, so it will go there. Pratyahara means taking it back. Like you have deposited 1 lakh rupee in the bank. So you will be thinking, oh, I have 1 lakh rupee in the bank. So that is like investing. Now pratyahara means taking it back, withdrawing it. Like you go to bank, you withdraw your money. Like that, pratyahara means you have to withdraw. Only when you withdraw yourself from where you have invested your life energy, then you will be able to do the next most important dhyana. Many times people say, I want to learn meditation, dhyana. I want to do dhyana. Yes, you will be able to do dhyana only when you follow yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara. Then at the 6th level or the 6th stage comes dhyana. Not that simply I can sit anywhere, however I want, and I think I'm doing dhyana. Yes, we can assume that we are doing dhyana, but in reality, it may not be dhyana at all. It is something else. We are thinking, we are assuming that it is dhyana. That's very unfortunate. It's so sad that today we are not getting to learn what is real dhyana, how to do real dhyana. So dhyana means only after you take back your life energy so that now you can focus on something. Dhyana means in Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Dhyana vastita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yoginaha. The yogis are able to do dhyana like this. Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa pashyanti. So that means you must have complete focus on one thing. And to have complete focus on one thing, you must have taken all your life energy back from all the distraction. So that is Pratyahara. Then comes Dhyana. Then comes Dharana. Dharana means when you're focusing on something for a long time, when you fix there only. Like for example, you take one magnifying glass and hold it in the sunlight. So when you hold it, that magnifying glass on paper for a certain time, certain length of the duration, now you see it will catch the fire. Because dhyana means the magnifying glass it has taken all the sunlight put together and made it a strong sunlight. And now you make that strong, that intensified sunlight fall on the paper for certain amount of time. That is called dharana. And then you will be able to see some benefit. Like you see, many of you must be going to gym. Some of you must have experience of going to fitness center, jogging, running, and all those things. So when you go there, 1 day, 2 day you do, that is like dhyana. Yeah, okay, you're lifting something, you're running and all that. But if you really want to see that six pack, or you want to really see that biceps, or you want to see that shape in your body, then you must consistently do it for a certain amount of time. And that is called dharana. So dharana comes this stage. Then only you will be able to see some type of a result. And at last, the eighth one called samadhi. Samadhi is a stage where you're enjoying your yoga's fruit. That is like fruit stage. So yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dhyana, dharana, and then comes samadhi. Because like this, there are 8 steps and 8 stages. This yoga system is called Ashtanga Yoga. And out of this 8, the most popular are 2. Asana, we call it as yogasana, and then we call it as dhyana. Oh, I want to do meditation. Oh, I want to do some asanas, yogasanas. So this is what we think. But actually, these 2 alone you cannot take out. It is not, then it will be incomplete yoga. You have simply taken out some 2. It is like in our body, cut off hands, you cut off some legs, and what is remaining? Some handicapped body is remaining. So we cannot take out on handicapped yoga and think that this is complete yoga. That's what the whole world is thinking, unfortunately, today. They think, oh, yoga asana and some dhyana. This is enough. So no, Ashtanga Yoga means there are 8 steps, and these are all part of it. And as I already told you, Ashtanga Yoga is meant for purifying the soul from the influence of the 5 prana vayu: prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana. And then comes the Bhakti Yoga, the topmost yoga according to Bhagavad-Gita. And Krishna mentions about Bhakti Yoga many, many times in Bhagavad-Gita. I think you're able to see this here. Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam sameyuktatamo mataha. Krishna is saying in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, this is the last shloka of the 6th chapter. Yoginam api sarvesham. There are so many varieties of yogis, right? Karma yogi, jnana yogi, ashtanga yogi, and you may consider beer yogi, dogi, and so many all types of all those yogis. But Krishna says, yoginam api sarvesham. Among all types of these yogis, the one who has so much love and connection with me, madgaten antaratmana, with great love, bhajante, shraddhavan bhajante, with great love and devotion and faith, who actually thinks of me in his heart with great love, he is the topmost yogi. So, and of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with yoga, and he is the highest of all. You see, Krishna is called Yogeshwara. In Bhagavad-Gita, the last shloka, Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna, it is said, Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna. Krishna is called Yogeshwara, the master of the yoga. And that Yogeshwara Krishna, he is giving the judgment, he is telling the conclusion. And what is that his conclusion? He is saying that out of all types of yogis, the one who loves me, the one who has relationship with me, he is the topmost. He is the best of all the yogis. So this is what Bhagavad-Gita says. So these are all some introduction to Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Now let us say, now come back to this question that we were discussing in the beginning, the meaning of yoga and the purpose of the yoga. I said the meaning of the yoga means to connect, to re-establish, or to unite. That is the meaning of the word yoga. Now, I didn't tell you connect with what? Unite with what? Now, let us discuss that. The most important, the purpose of the yoga, why this yoga is needed. Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says in the 4th chapter, 1st shloka, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam. Krishna is saying, oh my dear Arjuna, I am speaking about this yoga. I am speaking about this yoga system. Imam vivasvate yogam, this yogam I spoke to sun god Vivasvan. Proktavan aham avyayam. I only personally spoke this. I gave this yoga system. Actually, we know that, like for example, Ashtanga Yoga, it is called Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga. That Ashtanga Yoga is given to us by Patanjali Rishi. Like this, different sages are giving different types of yoga, but all their yoga comes from original yoga that Krishna spoke in Bhagavad-Gita. And Krishna is saying, I am the original person who spoke this yoga system for the first time. And there, the yoga, the word is explained. The yoga means it is the science. It is a science of our relationship with God. What is yoga? I want all of you to please type this in your chat. What is yoga? It is the science of our relationship with God. That is actually called yoga. Yoga is not to be misunderstood. Like visually, whenever we think of yoga, in our mind, what comes? Yoga means yoga asana. Like this, we are all doing some yoga asanas. But actually, yoga, according to Bhagavad-Gita, according to Krishna, 4th chapter, 1st verse, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam. Krishna says, yoga means it is a science of our relationship with God, with Krishna. That relationship science is called yoga. That's why in the Sanskrit, the word yoga means connect, link, unite. What is that? Connect with what? Connect with God. Connect, build relationship with God. Unite with God. And that is called yoga. So this is actually the real meaning of yoga. Now, when I say karma yoga, that means now I want all of you to now tell me what is the meaning of karma yoga. Karma means work. Yoga means relationship with God. Now, what is the meaning of karma yoga? That means through your work, if you are able to establish relationship with God, then it is called karma yoga. Jnana yoga means, jnana means the knowledge, and yoga means the relationship with God or connection with the God. That means if you are able to connect with God through knowledge, then it is called jnana yoga. If you're a student, if you're studying in some university, Like, for example, you are studying physics, you're studying chemistry, you're studying law, you're studying history, or you're studying economics, whatever. And by studying that, if your relationship with God becomes more and more stronger, then you're practicing Jnana Yoga. By doing some work, if you are getting disconnected from God, then it is only called karma. It is not called karma yoga. That means there are some work that can disconnect us from God. Like you see in your life also, you all have relationship with somebody. You have relationship with father, mother, brother, sister, husband, wife, children, neighbors, friends. We all have such relationship. You know very well that if you do certain things, your relationship will break. That means karma. If you do certain karma, my relationship will improve. If you do certain karma, my relationship will get destroyed. So that means when we do certain karma, because of that karma, your relationship with Krishna, your relationship with God becomes stronger and enhanced. Then it is called karma yoga. By getting certain knowledge, your relationship with God becomes great. Then it is called Jnana Yoga. By doing certain asanas, certain dhyana, certain physical exercises and all that, pranayama, your relationship, if you are able to, by doing all that yoga, asana, dhyana, you're able to do dhyana on Krishna, dharana on Krishna, and samadhi with Krishna, then that is called Ashtanga Yoga. That is why I said in the Bhagavad-Gita, 6th chapter, last shloka, 47th verse, Krishna concluded in Bhagavad-Gita, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatenantaratmana shraddhavanyo bhajate mam same yuktatamo mata. Krishna said, who's top? Whoever has got strong relationship with me, such a person is the topmost, is the number one yogi. And who is that? Who has got loving relationship with Krishna, loving relationship with God. And that yoga is called Bhakti Yoga. You see, Bhakti Yoga is not a separate yoga. It is not some different yoga. It is separate yoga. If your love for God is increasing, like if your love for your father increases, if your love for mother increases by doing something, then it is called bhakti. Bhakti is another meaning for love. So Bhakti Yoga means it is a love yoga, a yoga that increases your love. For whom? As I already told, yoga means it's a relationship with God. Relationship with father is not called yoga. Relationship with mother is not called yoga. Relationship with neighbors is not called yoga. But relationship with God is called yoga. That's very important. So anything that increases your love for God, that is called Bhakti Yoga. It can be through doing some work. It can be by reading some books, increasing. All that is called Bhakti Yoga if it increases your love. So now when we discuss all those things, the question that probably visible on your screen right now is, why have we separated from the God? The question that comes is, okay, that means if yoga means if I have to, connect with God, that means right now, am I separated from the God? It's like, have I divorced God? Right now, don't I have relationship with God? Unfortunately, the answer is yes. Yes. Because right now, we don't have loving relationship with God. We have a strained relationship with God. We have come away from the God. Shastras say, Krishna bhuliya jiva bhogavancha kare. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhogavancha kare. Vancha means the desire. With our desire to enjoy in the material world, especially the desire to enjoy without God. You see, today is International Father's Day also. And Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, Pitaham asya jagato mata dhata pitamaha. We have our original primary relationship with God. Like, you see, I have a father, very nice father I have, who supports me in my spiritual life. He encouraged me to join temple and do all this devotional service. I have my wonderful mother who likes to prepare prasadam for me, and she likes to call more devotees and feed prasadam to them. So I have father, I have mother, but Bhagavad-Gita says, yes, you also have your another supreme original father and mother, that is Krishna. So we have our relationship with our father, mother right now. That is also very great, very nice. But we also have our original relationship. Like in this life, in this janma, my father and mother I have. What about my previous janma? So I had different father and mother. In my next life, I'll have another set of father and mother. This father and mother keeps changing, but original father and mother, that is Krishna, pitaham asya jagato mata dhata pitamaha, that will not change. So that relationship we have left. Imagine you get angry at your mother, you get angry at your father, with your wife, with your husband, or with your children, or with your close friend, and leave them. And that kind of thing we all have done. It is said in the Bhagavad-Gita, Lord Krishna is saying, Krishna says that, out of ichcha dvesha samutvena, ichcha means the desire to enjoy without God, ichcha, dvesha, we have developed some kind of a unhealthy feeling towards God. Ichcha dvesha samutvena, dvandva mohena bharata. Krishna says, hey Bharata, hey Arjuna. Bharata is referring to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita because he comes in the Bharata dynasty. So, ichcha dvesha samutvena dvandva mohena Bharata. Because of this ichcha and dvesha, we have come under illusion. We have left God, Krishna, and that loving, intimate relationship, and we have come away. And now, the yoga helps us to again rebuild that relationship with God. God is sitting in our heart as Paramatma. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati. Hey Arjuna, I'm sitting in your heart 24/7. I'm waiting for you because I love you so much. I have relationship with you. You are my amsha. Mamaiva amsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. You are my part and parcel. So Krishna, God is feeling for us, but unfortunately, due to our material desires and certain ill feelings towards God, we do not have such kind of love for God. So yoga is primarily meant to revive and recognize and establish our original relationship. That is what the actual purpose of the yoga, whether it is karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, whatever yoga, this is the purpose of the yoga. That's what. Why we have separated, I explained to you. Ichcha dvesha samutvena dvandva mohena bharata. Ichcha, that I want to enjoy independent of God. It's like you say, oh, I want to live separately. Your parents like to be with you. And you also, you say, no, I want to have my own house and I want to live separately. It's not good. It's not good relationship. So Krishna is our father. Like even in Christianity, Jesus Christ teaches that our Heavenly Father, we should all go back because Heavenly Father wants all of us back. And even in Islam, that we say, Allah, who is our original Father, we are all supposed to go back to Allah. So Krishna, because we know in the Vedic perspective, you may call Allah, you may call Christ for Supreme Father, all those things. Finally, it refers to the original Supreme Lord Krishna, according to Bhagavad-Gita, that we are all supposed to revive, link, connect, and go back to Krishna, our Allah, our Jesus Christ, Christ. So that is the purpose of the yoga. Yoga means go back, revive your original relationship. And why we are now here? Because of certain ill feelings, unhealthy relationship, and desire to be away from the God. So this is one. Now, let's see what is a misconception about yoga. today it's very unfortunate that even though we are celebrating international yoga, but there is some misconception about yoga. Most of the people think yoga is meant for improving our health, especially improving our physical health. And nowadays people are understanding, oh, we can also improve our emotional health, mental health. And they think that's all. That's the end of the yoga. That's why they only stick on to asanas, because by doing asanas and pranayama, they see there is an improvement in their physical health. Oh, I have back pain, I have neck pain, I want to improve my sleeping pattern, and I want to improve my good health. So let me do yoga, let me do Surya Namaskara, Pavana Muktasana, all the Shirshasana. So definitely there is no doubt. Yes, of course it will help you to improve your, health. But the today's understanding, the misconception is that yoga is meant only for this. It is totally mistaken. As I already said, according to Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna is speaking yoga not to increase our physical health. Of course, we are not saying physical health is not important. Even 6th chapter, Krishna speaks about sleeping, talks about the physical health, good eating and all that thing. But thinking that that much is only yoga is actually, it's like underutilization, right? Now you see, when we speak about underutilization, it's like we all know we have a phone. Like you see, I have a phone, and if I think this phone, I'll use it as an alarm. So morning I want to wake up and I will purchase one iPhone. And why I'm purchasing an iPhone? Just to use as an alarm. So then isn't it that I'm underutilizing the 1 lakh rupees phone? It can do many more things. But if I simply think I use it as only music player, I use it as some alarm, that means I'm really not understanding the so many special benefits of yoga. So if somebody is misunderstanding, it is meant only for physical health improvement, that is not right. I think I can give you an example to make it very clear. You see, I've seen this, especially in the North India. I have seen this. When we go for Vrindavan trip, when we go to Govardhan and different places early in the morning, I see hundreds of youngsters, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, they'll all be doing jogging, they'll be running. I didn't know. First time when I saw all this thing, I asked some people, oh, why are they doing all these things? That means they're so much interested in their good health. They said, no, they're all preparing for Indian Army. So because they want to get selected for Indian Army, and for that, you should have good health. So that is why every day you should go for jogging, and you should do some push-ups, and you should be fit, you should be strong, and or you should be healthy. Only then you will go to Indian Army. Now, it's interesting example. We all agree that to be in the army, health is very important, right? But now if somebody thinks, okay, in the army, in the Indian Army, there also after joining also I have to do every day, everything. So many, I have to maintain my good health. So if somebody thinks the goal of the Indian Army is all about maintaining good health, there is nothing beyond health in the Indian Army, that means we have completely misunderstood Indian Army. You need your health, strong health, good health in the army for fighting the war. Because when the war is declared, you cannot be sick, you cannot be a patient, you cannot be a diseased man. Then what kind of war you will fight? What kind of strength, vigor, rigor you will have? You cannot. So health is very important. But if somebody thinks Indian Army is meant to make all of us healthy, no, Indian Army is meant to fight the war when the enemies attack. For that, we need good health. So health is also important. So nobody should misunderstand. Health is the topmost goal of army. Beyond health, the Indian Army has nothing to do. Like that, yoga should not be misunderstood. Oh, yoga means only for my asana, pranayama, dhyana, for my physical health and for my emotional health. No, you need health even for spiritual life. Krishna is speaking about all those things because we need a healthy body. We need a healthy mind so that we use this healthy body, healthy mind to go back to Vaikuntha, go back to Krishna, Goloka Vrindavana. Srila Prabhupada, whenever he wrote letters, Prabhupada wrote thousands of letters to a disciple. In every letter, he ended his letter with saying that, I hope this meets you in good health. So Prabhupada was very conscious that his disciples, his devotees should have good health. So health is very important even in spiritual life. So by practicing yoga, you will get health. There's no doubt about it. But thinking that health itself is the end of yoga is totally misunderstood. So I hope it is very clear. You can actually let me know in the live chat. So far, what have you understood? What did you like? Which point did you like? I explained to you all about Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga? You can tell me what did you understand about Karma Yoga? I explained to you what is Jnana Yoga. I explained to you Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 different steps of Ashtanga Yoga. And then I said Bhakti Yoga. And then we said, actually, yoga means what? Yoga means the science of our relationship with God, and how anything that increases our love, anything that intensifies our relationship with God, that is called yoga. So all those things we discussed. Then why did we separate? Why our relationship got disturbed with God, we discussed. And then we discussed the misconception. What is the modern world misconception about yoga? They only take out some asana, pranayama, and they think this is all about yoga. See, actually, this is not. So now I wish to draw all of your attention in next few minutes before we end today's talk, that you can see how much Krishna speak about yoga in Bhagavad-Gita. I will not be able to speak everything because there are so many shlokas, and I will only focus on today's title, Yoga KSHEMAM. So let's see that. So here, so Krishna says in the 2nd chapter, one of the symptom of yogi, if you are practicing yoga, then you should have this result. If you don't have this, that means the yoga which you are practicing is not the real yoga. You see, that means they say, like nowadays there are fake vaccines. Like you're all looking for taking vaccines, but unfortunately there are some people giving fake vaccines. When you take fake vaccine, you will not develop any immunity, because the vaccine is supposed to give us immunity. Like that, the real yoga, according to Bhagavad-Gita, is supposed to give all these benefits. And first benefit is you must be able to develop this equanimity. Especially, you should be able to do your duty, your assigned duty, without any expectation for result. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhi asiddhayo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Yoga uchyate. Krishna says this is called yoga. What is that? Siddhi means the result. Asiddhi, in the 3rd line you can see there are 2 words, siddhi and asiddhi. Siddhi means the result, asiddhi means not getting result. So whether you get result, whether you don't get result, will you do your duty? Yes, of course. Whether I get, whether I don't get, I'll do my duty. Then it means that you are situated in yoga consciousness. So Krishna says, perform your duty equipoised. O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure, siddhi, asiddhi, such equanimity is called yoga. So, do you see? Simply not that I do some yoga asanas, dhanurasana, pavanamuktasana, shirshasana, and all this asana, and I think, yes, I've got yoga. No, have you developed this? Krishna is saying, have you developed this equanimity? And then the next one, Krishna speak about interesting one called Buddhi Yoga. There is another word that Krishna uses, Buddhi Yoga. And here it is said, Durena hi avaram karma, Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya. Oh Dhananjaya, oh Arjuna, Buddhi Yoga. Krishna is speaking about Buddhi Yoga. What is that? Buddhau Sharanam Anvicha Kripana Phalahetava. Krishna says, oh Dhananjaya, oh Arjuna, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service. And in that consciousness, surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. So Krishna is speaking about elevating our consciousness by avoiding certain so-called distraction. Like for example, if you're a student and preparing for exam, right? And so there is some cricket matches going on or some movies coming, and tomorrow is your exam. So if you're able to restrain yourself, because you know, if I go waste my time watching cricket match or watching a movie, then, I'll be not able to perform well in my exams tomorrow. So in that way, if you're able to keep yourself away, that is called Buddhi Yoga. So now apply the same thing. We all know that I have some relationship with my father, with my mother, with my husband, wife. Now, if I do something that will disturb my relationship. So if you avoid them, like meat eating, like illicit sex, like intoxication, and all this gambling. So when you keep away all these things with your intelligence, because you know it will disturb my relationship, then such a yoga is called Buddhi Yoga that Krishna speaks. Then Krishna also says yoga means it's an art of all work. You see, you remember I told you that karma yoga, karma means the work. Any work is not called art. Like you simply take some paint, color, and you do anything and everything will not become an art. People will not pay crores of rupees, lakhs of rupees and purchase it, right? Art means there is a certain way of drawing it. It attracts the attention. Like that Krishna says, there is a certain way of doing our work. There is a certain artistic way of doing our work which attracts God's attention, and it also attracts other good-hearted devotees' attention, and that is called yoga. And here in the shloka you can see Krishna says, Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukrita dushkrite tasmad yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. The last line in the shloka you can see karmashu kaushalam. Karma is the work, kaushala is an art, and yoga, it teaches you how to do your work in a manner which is not an ordinary way, but it actually attracts God's attention on us that way. Like you see, I may say, oh, I want to sing. Now I can start singing, and I can sing in a boring manner that you will all, now go away from the session. Okay, it's so too horrible. I can't hear this anymore. Or I can sing in so impressive manner that you all may like to be here for more time. So it depends on me how I will do. The same way our work can increase the intensity of our love in relationship with God, or we can do some activity and that will create so much disturbance in our relationship with God. So Krishna is saying, if you are practicing yoga, that yoga should teach you the art of performing that work. Like for example, you see, we all every day eat, right? It is unavoidable. We have to eat 3 times a day. Some of us may eat more than 3 times. So no problem, we can eat. But there is an art of eating that. What is that? You can prepare that in sattvic manner, and you can offer that to God. Yajna shishtashanah santo muchyante sarva kilbishai. Krishna says, whatever you're cooking, you think while you're cooking, you think that I'm like, when mother, when she cooks, she doesn't think that I'm cooking for myself. She thinks, oh, I'm cooking for my husband, I'm cooking for my son, I'm cooking for my daughter. She thinks about everyone. Like that Krishna says, you think of me also. Please include me also in your thinking. And when you think in that consciousness, then the food that you have cooked becomes special food. And that food is called prasadam. When we cook something, and at the time of cooking, at the time of purchasing sabji, the vegetables and all those things, you think, oh, my son likes this, my husband likes this. Like that, you also think, oh, Krishna likes this. What Krishna likes, he has told in Bhagavad-Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhakteya Prayachati. In the 17th chapter, Krishna has told what he likes. So like that, when you're shopping, when you're cooking, if you keep that in your mind, if you purchase and when you cook, and like Krishna likes tulasi leaf, you mix the tulasi, add tulasi, and you cook like this, that is called yoga karmasu kaushalam. This is the artistic way of cooking that will attract even God because of your work. So Krishna says yoga should teach all of us, right? So next one, here we can see, how do we receive the knowledge about yoga? This yoga knowledge is simply not downloaded from Google and simply anywhere, anybody install some app and do, some asana, pranayama and all we do. But the real yoga, the complete yoga, according to Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna himself says, you can read this, Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan Huvacha means the God is personally speaking. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manurikshvakave abbravid. So here Krishna is saying this yoga should be directly received from the God, not from anybody and everybody, distorted, concocted, and something we mixed our idea of yoga. No, pure yoga. Krishna says, Aham proktavan, I have spoken this. So in the Bhagavad-Gita, in the parampara way, through the spiritual master, we should have a spiritual master who is 100% pure. He will not cheat us. He is not going to teach yoga for money. You give me 1,000 rupees, so I will teach you yoga for next 5 days. No. Like Srila Prabhupada, who is a guru, who is a real pure devotee, he's just free of cost is giving the yoga knowledge to all of us, and there is no money, there is nothing for all these things. He wants to see that we are making advancement. It is not meant for money making. It is not some business. It is not a business yoga that we do business out of it. Actually, this yoga is meant for taking us back to our beloved Krishna, all loving God. So it has to be received from the God through parampara, through pure devotee spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada, and through Bhagavad-Gita. So that's what here it is. We can also see qualification to receive the knowledge. Sa evayam mayate adya yoga prokta puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyate taduttamam. Krishna says this yoga is a secret. It is a rahasya. It is not to be simply given to anybody and everybody like that. But there is one criteria, there is one qualification. Whoever develops this qualification, for them Krishna says, I will give this yoga knowledge to them. And what is that criteria? You can see that the third line of the shloka. The third line of the shloka on your screen tells what is that qualification, what is that criteria. Bhaktosi sakha cheti. If you are a devotee and you are a sakha, of course, now Krishna is telling this to Arjuna. Sakha means the friend, and you're all friends of Lord Krishna, supposed to be. So Arjuna is also a friend of Lord Krishna. So you see, you have a relationship with God, sakha. And Yashoda was not friend of Krishna, she was mother. She was playing the role of a mother. So Radha, she's not friend, she's a lover of Krishna. And like that, there are servants. Like Arjuna was a friend, Hanuman is the servant, is a Dasa. So like this, basically we should have relationship with God. Then Krishna says, then yoga prokta puratanaha, then this yoga will become easy for you to understand and practice. Otherwise, it will remain one complicated secret for you. That's what we can see today, whole world. Unfortunately, people have not understood what is proper yoga. They're thinking asana, pranayama, dhyana, it's all yoga. That's also good. That's also very great. We should appreciate them. But we are sad that they're not able to get the complete benefit of yoga. And for that, we should have intention to have relationship with God. Without having relationship with God, this yoga we cannot understand. So the next one that we can see from Bhagavad-Gita about yoga. So some people may think, oh, if I practice yoga, if I become a yogi, that means I have to leave my home, family, my relationship, my work. No, this is not what Krishna is saying. Actually, you can see here the personality of God at Krishna replied to Arjuna, because Arjuna asked that kind of a doubt. The renunciation of work and the work in devotion are both good for liberation. So out of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Don't think that I have to become a sannyasi, I have to leave my home, leave my job. Nothing. You have to just increase your love for Krishna and continue to do whatever you're doing. That's all the yoga is meant for. We are not supposed to misunderstand in that way. Yoga is meant to increase our devotional attachment to Krishna. So that's one important point to be noted. Now, yogi renounces the desire for sense gratification. If you're a yogi, it's not that by practicing yoga, your attachment to this material world is increasing. No, just like we are in the hospital. If you are getting recovered in the hospital, your desire to stay in the hospital should reduce. You should be thinking, when will I go out of this hospital? When will I go and meet my father, mother, my family member? Like that, if you're real yogi, if you're really practicing yoga, your interest in this world will be decreasing and your interest to go back to spiritual world will be increasing. You will not make some permanent arrangement. Oh, I have to build one big house here. I have to buy one big car. You won't make so many unnecessary arrangement here, because you know, this is like in the hospital, you will not be thinking, oh, how to improve my room here. How can I have a better bed? It doesn't matter better bed or not better bed. Here in the hospital, we should get out of the hospital. So this world is like a hospital. Yoga is a treatment. By taking the treatment called yoga, we are supposed to get out of this hospital and go back to our home. So here Krishna says, Yam sannyasam iti prahur, yogam tam vidhi Pandava. Yogam, oh Pandava, please understand this is yoga. Nahi asanyastya sankalpo yogi bhavati kaschana. What is called renunciation, you should know to be the same as yoga. Yoga and renunciation both are same. That means we are to linking oneself with the Supreme, O son of Pandu. For one can never become a yogi unless you actually stop all your sense gratification. If you continue your sense gratification, you tell, I'll continue to increase my material sinful activity, I'll do some yogasana, then I'm a yogi. No, according to Bhagavad-Gita, it is not correct. Then the true yogi is he, Krishna says, Sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. A real yogi sees Krishna everywhere in all the people. That means, you see, if I'm a yogi and I'm a billionaire, not that I'll be thinking, oh, I should be happy and let other people be poor and let them all suffer. If I'm really a yogi, I see, oh, remaining people, they're also connected to God. Like they are my relatives. I cannot see them in distress. I must do something to them. Because you see their connection with Krishna. That is the meaning of seeing Krishna everywhere. Seeing Krishna everywhere means seeing Krishna's connection everywhere. So in that way, you will not be selfish. The real yoga should make you very compassionate. The real practice of yoga should make you very tolerant. The real practice of yoga should make you learn forgiveness. The real yoga should make you learn to share what fortune you have in your life with others. It could be some fortune like money. It could be fortune of something else. You must be able to share with others. That's the real yogi. A true yogi according to Bhagavad-Gita. So finally, Krishna is saying, You see, so interesting. Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi, jnanibhyo api mato adhikaha, karmibhyascha yogi, tasmad yogi bhavarjuna, tasmad, therefore, yogi bhavarjuna, yogi bhava. Oh Arjuna, become a yogi. Actually, Krishna wants all of us to be yogi. Why? Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi. The yogi is better than somebody who's doing tapasya. Tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi. Jnanibhyo pi mato adhikaha. The yogi is better than somebody who is trying to get so much knowledge in this world. A yogi is better than even this person. Karmibhyas chadiko yogi. The yogi is better than somebody who's doing so many so-called good activities. So, oh Arjuna, because yogis means a very special position. Why? Because yogi means he is developing relationship with God. And that is why Krishna says, Tasmad, oh Arjuna, yogi bhava Arjuna. Arjuna, you become yogi. Like that, Krishna is telling all of us, please become yogi. And being part of folk, being a regular devotees in ISKCON, all of us, all of you already have become yogis. You see how fortunate we are. We are following Bhagavad-Gita instruction. A yogi is greater than the ascetic, tapasvi, greater than an empiricist, jnani, and a greater than a fruity worker, karmi. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. This is the importance of being a yogi. So, practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, you can know me in full. You see, the purpose of Bhagavad-Gita is all about Krishna, very famous shloka. Krishna says why he appears. He says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya. Whenever there is adharma, whenever there is a misunderstanding, what is true religion, what is real dharma, I will come. Dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. O Arjuna, every yuga, I will come to re-establish. And what is that? The real reason of dharma is actually we all develop our relationship with God. That is why Krishna is speaking so much about yoga. And what is that yoga? What are we supposed to do? How does a real yogi behaves? How he thinks, how he acts? Krishna speaks. And here are some of the examples. You can see here. Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Sakta Manapartha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asamshayam Samagramma Yatagnyasasi Tachrunu. Krishna is saying, without any doubt, samshaya means doubt. The third line in the shloka you can see. Samshaya means doubt. Asamshayam, without any doubt, I'll tell you what is this. What is that? The first line. Maya sakta manapartha. Your mind should develop asakta in me. Your mind should develop so much interest in me, attraction towards me. That means to Krishna. Just like, when you're young, it is so natural. Sometimes, you won't even realize this. We all develop attachment and attraction to the opposite sex and all those things, right? So that means Maya Sakta, that person is always thinking of that boy or a girl, like that the girl is thinking of the boy or a girl. Our mother is always thinking of the child. Our child is always thinking of the mother. That is called Maya Sakta Manapartha. So Krishna is telling, if you are able to develop that kind of an interest, intense attachment and attraction and attachment to me, that is what real yoga. And how does it happen? Krishna says, Tat Shrunu. Shrunu means through hearing. Shrunvatam. Shrunvatam Swakatam Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. When you hear about Krishna, then there is a technology that works the way our mind and body is designed like this. Whenever we hear about Krishna, like right now, you're all hearing about Krishna from Bhagavad-Gita, reading Bhagavad-Gita, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, attending the spiritual classes that your folk guide conduct, and most importantly, chanting and hearing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When we hear it, Either japa means chanting, or kirtana, that means singing and dancing. Either of this, by hearing that mantra, our mind will completely get attracted to Krishna. This is the secret that Krishna is revealing in Bhagavad-Gita. Tat shrunu, shrunu means hear. Shunvatam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vishnu, Padasevanam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahalad Maharaj is saying, Shravanam, it is only by hearing. Like you keep on hearing about Modi, you'll become a fan of Modi. You keep on hearing about Shah Rukh Khan, you'll become fan of Shah Rukh Khan. Keep hearing about Virat Kohli, you become fan of Virat Kohli. You keep hearing about Ronaldo, Cristiano, that football player, you'll become fan of him. So like that, when you keep hearing about Krishna, your love for Krishna will awaken. And that's why it is so important that every day we hear Hare Krishna mantra, by chant and hear. So this is one very important that Krishna reveals in Bhagavad Gita. Now, how to reach Krishna through yoga? Krishna says, Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanyagamina. Abhyasa yoga, we have to practice this chanting. Abhyasa means what you do repeatedly again and again. When you do that, that's called abhyasa, right? Abhyasa means in English, it is called practice. You may practice music. Sports people practice so many things. Like if you go to Olympic, means so much of practice is required. So like that, we require practice even in this yoga system. We have to practice. Thinking of Krishna, we have to practice. Chanting of Krishna's name, we have to practice. By reading Bhagavad-Gita, we have to practice. And practice, we all don't like. Nobody likes practice. Even sports people don't like practice. Like you, those of you who go to gym, fitness, you see every day it requires certain practice to maintain that kind of a body. But that is painful. But you see after that practice, there is such a nice result is there. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanyagamina Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Parthanu Chintayan. In this way, you will go back to Paramam Purusham Divyam, that Parama Purusha, the Supreme Lord. By practicing this yoga, we will go back to Krishna. You see, Krishna speaks about health, good benefits and all that. But at the same time, Krishna is again telling the goal of yoga is actually go back to God. That is the real goal of the yoga. And here we can see Krishna says, for you to practice this yoga, I will give you that intelligence. I will give you inspiration from your heart. Like today, you're all attending this session because Krishna gave that inspiration in your heart to go and hear the session. I give this intelligence. So Krishna says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Buddhi yogam dadami. Dadami, those of you who studied Sanskrit in your school days, you know dadami means the first person, whoever is speaking. I will give you. What will Krishna gives? Buddhi Yoga. He will give intelligence, he will give knowledge, he will give direction, he will give inspiration to all of us. For what? Yena mam upayanti. Upayanti, yanti means going. Going where? Mam. Krishna saying, in this way you will come to me. See here, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. Actually, going back to Krishna is considered as the perfection, or is the last stage of yoga. Going back to Krishna. That's why every day, whenever we are practicing yoga, it is not just the health. Health is very important. Without health, we cannot, even spiritual life becomes difficult. Definitely, we should go do asana, pranayama, all that and have good health. But that is not enough. We should know how to go to Krishna. And for that, Prabhupada has given the topmost yoga. What is that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, which is called mantra yoga, sound meditation. So when we do that, good health, good intelligence, and we'll all go to Krishna, right? So which yoga is considered more perfect? Krishna is saying here, Arjuna is only asking, Evam satata yukta ye bhaktas tvam paryupasate e chapyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittama. Ke yoga, which yoga is better, O Krishna? Whether devotion to you is better or some other type of yoga. So now you see, Krishna is only answering. Maya veshya mano ye mam nitya yukta vupasate shraddhaya parayopetas te me yukta tamamataha. Yukta tama means the best. Krishna says the best yoga is to constantly love me, think of me, have that great relationship with me. Such people are the best yogis. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, said, those who fix their minds on my personal form, devotion, and engage in worshipping him, especially worshipping Krishna in Kali Yuga means worshipping Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This way of worshipping is most important according to Bhagavad-Gita. With great transcendental faith, such person is most perfect. So Krishna is clarifying this. We should know, we are celebrating International Yoga. The best yoga means thinking of Krishna, loving God by chanting Hare Krishna mantra is the best yoga. And Krishna says, in all activities, just depend upon me. And that is called yoga. He says, Achetasa sarva karmani. There is some mistake on the screen. Actually, it is chetasa, not achetasa. Chetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matparaha buddhi yogam upashritya matchittam satatam bhava. Again, Krishna is bringing this word buddhi yogam. Buddhi yogam. So in this yoga, in Buddhi Yoga means completely depending on God in all the activities while you're doing your best. So that kind of things also Krishna encourages in Bhagavad-Gita. You all can see how much Krishna speak about yoga, right? And finally, coming to the conclusion, today's topic title, Yoga KSHEMAM. And here this verse, Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita 9th chapter, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. This is the most wonderful thing. You know, actually, what is the meaning of this? Krishna says, if you practice yoga, real yoga, if you practice the real yoga, I will personally, Krishna, the Supreme God. Imagine in our country, the most powerful person as of now is the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. If Narendra Modi tells you, I will personally take care of you, all your requirements, I will personally take care of you. How amazing it will be. What is that I should do so that Prime Minister will personally take care of me? What if the US President, Mr. Biden, if he says, okay, you do this, I will personally take care of you. Oh my God, what is that amazing? Like students, if you do certain things, there is some sponsorship, some scholarship. Okay, you get good marks. The university or the college will take care of everything. They'll take care of your hostel fees, take care of your college fees. All that you have to do is you have to get good marks. Like that, Krishna here is revealing, if you do this type of yoga, I will, this Biden, Prime Minister, they're all Prime Minister and President of some small countries. Who is Krishna? Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir. Krishna is that Supreme Lord, Parameshvara. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita 5th chapter, last shloka, he says that Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, I am the master, I am the controller, I am the creator of all the universes. That person says, I will personally take care of your life if you do this yoga. That is why it is called Yoga KSHEMA. Yoga KSHEMA means your well-being. I will take care of your well-being personally. What you lack, I will give. What you have, I will carry. And what is that? Now read the first line. Ananyas chintayanto mam. If you are able to develop a love for Krishna and without any distraction, deviation, you're always thinking of God. You see, this is not impossible. It is very much possible. If mother can think of her child most of the time in a day, if a lover can think of the beloved whole day, if the patriotic soldier can think of the country whole day, it is very much possible we can also think of Krishna whole day. It is very simple, just that you need some guidance for that. Like I already told you, when you're cooking, if you can also think of Krishna, oh, Krishna likes this. Let me prepare this for Krishna. Let me add tulasi dala for Krishna. That means you're thinking of Krishna. Oh, Krishna likes if I go to temple, if I have darshan of Krishna, let me go to temple. So in this way, Krishna likes very much if I read Bhagavad-Gita. Krishna likes very much. Let me read Bhagavad-Gita. Krishna likes if I chant Hare Krishna mantra. Like this, these things when you do, that means Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Chintana means thinking of the Lord. We think of people only in the two situations. Either you hate that person or you love that person. When you love that person, you think of that person. When you hate that person, also you think. So now Krishna is saying that you love me and you think of me. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Jana means people, such people, those who upasate, in this way they worship me. See, Krishna is not interested in a worship of some ignorant, wrong worship. He's saying your worship means developing love for me. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. For such people, Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam, for such people, personally I will take care. See how exciting it is. Tomorrow is International Yoga Day. So you should all be excited. Oh, there is a yoga that Krishna himself is giving in Bhagavad-Gita, and by doing which God will personally take care of me in my life. I don't have to worry about anything. And what is that? That is loving him, loving God. Especially when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Simply by chanting this mantra again and again, every day, repeatedly, sincerely, seriously, with devotees if possible. If you do this, Krishna will personally take care of you, because that is Yoga Kshema, the best type of the yoga that we can practice in our life. And all these things that I'm speaking is from Bhagavad-Gita. This is not what I'm speaking. This is what Krishna is saying. This is what God is saying. And this is accepted by Asita, Devala, Vyasa, Narada. And Krishna himself agrees to this. And great acharyas from thousands of years have agreed, yes, it is true. Krishna will take care of us if we do this. So I request all of you on this International Day, we take this very seriously. What is that? Learning how to love God. How to love God in real devotional service by chanting, by reading, by cooking for God, by doing shopping for God, by doing some volunteer service for God. If you're a student, by studying for God. If you're going to office, you're working for God, because when you work, you get some salary, and use that, some portion of it, use it for Krishna's service. In that way, your love for God will increase. Like you get some salary, you buy some t-shirt for your child, like that increases your love for child and child love for you. Like this, we can, in our own life, however we are, we can continue to be like that, but we can still practice yoga, increase our love for God, especially by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Always thinking of Krishna is possible only when we love God. And loving Krishna is the topmost perfection or maturity or the fruit of yoga. And that's what at least all of us should practice on International Yoga Day. We should not misunderstand yoga means only for physical health, only for my emotional stability. I'll do pranayama, asana. No, yoga is also actually meant for all these things. That's the complete idea of the yoga, from the Bhagavad-Gita, from Upanishads, and from the Vedas. So these are some of the points that we wish to share with all of you. Hope today's talk, the Yoga KSHEMAM, has helped you to deepen and expand your understanding of what is real yoga. So before I conclude, I just summarize. We spoke about international yoga. That means if something is so important, only then it becomes international. So what makes it very important? It makes it very important because if you practice this, God will personally take care of you. That is why it is very important. And there are different types of yoga: karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga. That means through your work, you can connect with God. Through knowledge, you can connect with God. And through certain physical exercises, you can connect with God. But finally, the goal is to connect with God and increase our love for God. And that is called Bhakti Yoga. And Krishna concludes in Bhagavad-Gita again and again saying that the one who loves God, the one who has got intimate relationship with God, is the topmost yogi. And Krishna requests Arjuna, Tasmad yogi bhava Arjuna. Please become yogi, O Arjuna, because this is very important. And to learn yoga, the qualification is we must receive this knowledge from a pure devotee, spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada, who receives this knowledge originally from Krishna and gives to us. And in this way, we actually receive this yoga. And final yoga means always thinking of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much for your patience listening to me. And please give your today's experience. What did you learn? How did you feel? Where are you from? Where are you attending the session from? And what is your lesson? And in the future, what type of session you want us to conduct? All these things either in the live chat or in the comments, please do write so that we get feedback and improve ourselves. Thank you so much once again. Hare Krishna. See you next time. Hare Krishna.